everyone. I am joined today by Sid, who is the franchisor of Zesty Pita. And Sid, I'm so glad you were able to join me today. And I just wanted to take a few minutes and get people caught up with where you are and what's going on. So, why don't you just introduce yourself and let's get started?
Absolutely. Thank you, Marietta. Thank you for having me. My name is Sid. I'm one of the partners of Zesty Shawarma and Halal Grill, and Zesty Catering Services here in Burlington, Ontario. So we own and operate three restaurants here in Halton region between Oakville and Burlington, and currently looking to open more locations um, in the near future.
Right. So when you and I met, what was the one big problem that you had before you discovered Ascend and the Franchisor Blueprint Experience? What was that big problem? What was kind of keeping you awake at night
Yeah,
around
I
your
think
business?
I think we met maybe a year before we actually engaged
Yeah.
association, and then we met again the following year, or maybe at your seminar. But um, it was about 4 or 5 years into our operations. People are
Mhm.
asking us, "Are you franchising? Are you guys a franchise?" We have three restaurants by the time we met, and
Yeah.
I think we have some systems in place. We have a great product, and we have great people. And it took me a while to think through the franchise process
Mhm.
I was doing. I do not work in the restaurant. I work on the restaurant. I have a great
Yeah.
team in terms of operations and business partners. So my background is business and marketing. But my mandate was, to start, actually formalizing the franchise concept for Zesty. And I've done a lot of research. So unlike maybe others that are actually,
Yeah.
inside the kitchen serving the
Yeah.
customer.
You had a good sense, but you still knew you needed.
Yes, true, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I did a lot of research, but I had like a foggy idea where to start.
Right.
What does that process look like, or that
Mhm.
journey look like? And should I speak to a lawyer first? Should I speak to a franchise broker first? Should I talk
Yeah.
to people that have been there, done that? Uh,
Yeah.
and I did touch, maybe people on contacts and network, within my network. Um,
Yeah.
all these stakeholders, but I was still missing, that component where I needed an advisor
Yeah.
that can, number one, just tell me, hey, am I even franchisable?
Yeah.
Or what are the difficulties? What are the challenges? Not just
Yeah.
the advantages, and the expansion and growth and sales and all of that and
Yeah.
branding. But I needed someone that is not just a lawyer, that
Yeah.
can, you can
Yeah,
deal
we
with.
talked about that. Lawyers give legal advice and
Yes.
coaches
Yeah.
and business
Even
consultants.
yeah, even lawyers that have been doing nothing but franchising.
Yeah,
We have some franchise ideas, but not like someone who's an advisor, 100% dedicated advisor
yeah,
that is totally aware and immersed in the franchise experience
yeah,
as a journey from beginning
yeah,
to end. And I wanted someone to come into the process not because they want to get my business to write legal documentation, but someone who is almost objective in their assessment, and
mhm,
you could tell me, hey, this is what you should be expecting. This is
yeah,
what that journey would look like. And I knew that at the end, maybe with that conversation with that advisor, I would be fully equipped to know what that journey will look like, and I
right.
would have comfort. So it's almost like a decision support mechanism for me.
Yeah,
Um, and then it's a lot easier for me to go back to my business partners.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, you know what? I think we need those bolts to be tightened here and there in terms of operations, in terms of our branding, in terms. So that is the piece that I was missing before
mhm,
we engaged you.
yeah. So tell me, what did you take away from that? What was really great about the franchisor blueprint experience and the work that we did together? What was really, what was that kind of even that moment where you were kind of like, oh, this is exactly what I needed?
Yes, yeah. So I'm going back to I think you have really well structured your program. Um, for me, I am a person of structure.
Yeah.
I find my way easier in dealing with structures, with
Mhm.
or organized concept
Yep.
that is easier for me to understand, break down, and easier for me to communicate to my business partners.
Yep.
And I think the way you've you've done a reason you've done your business model is built around, you know, the foundations, the
Yep.
foundation of franchise and all the components of that, you know, your building blocks, the pillars, and how do you build out your business from there,
Yeah.
and then go into market, you know, what you
Yeah.
call going big. I think these pillars, not I haven't met, you know, an advisor or a lawyer who's immersed in franchise that could distill all the knowledge, all the information, all the experience in a structured model and approach that's easier to understand, and you can just I could zero in on just the foundation and say, okay, these are the pillars or the components or that I need to nail first,
Yep.
you know, for me to even start
Think
thinking
about.
seriously as building the business from there.
Yeah.
So without getting into too much details, I think
Yeah.
that's the unique, you know, your unique business model is that you were able to, um, like I said, take that um, um, knowledge and information and expertise and distill it to
Yeah.
what's really important for a business. We can, I'm sure you could sit here and talk about franchising for hours, if not days,
Yeah.
for you to be
Probably.
able to distill it,
Yeah.
you know, to these components that are easier to digest, easier to
Mhm.
understand. I think that's a differentiator, and that's I said, you know what,
Yeah.
I think I'm able to walk through that journey, knowing full well I have a map. You know,
Yeah,
and
you're gonna exactly. That's actually a really great way. I love how you put that because it really is, the blueprint really is about kind of starting here, going through like, my favorite saying is how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time, right? And if you get all this content, it can be really overwhelming. So, it's very intentional. And, it's like, I've shared with you, it's the however many, 25 plus years of franchise experience, kind of being able to break it down and make it so it's not such an overwhelming process for someone who's really at the beginning.
and if somebody like me who's been to franchise association, who's been in a lot, because
Yeah.
I have time, I have business background,
Yeah.
I have time to do a lot of research. If somebody like me found value in this model,
Yep.
chances are there's a lot of aspiring franchisors that are, you know, that don't have
Yeah.
time. They
Yeah, like
are
you said, you've already got marketing and business experience. Like you've been a marketing expert for many years. Like, you and I've had some really great conversations around marketing and branding, and you like already even had all of that figured out in your business. So it wasn't really even a brand. It was really like, what are the steps I need to get myself franchise disclosure document ready?
absolutely.
So tell me, what does your business look like now? Where are you? What's going on right now? I know we're still coming out of the pandemic, but I feel like
Yes.
you've done a lot of really good work in the last bit. And I'd love for you to brag a little bit about some of the things that you've kind of created and accomplished because you've
Uh,
done a lot.
I've had a 200-page operations manual from, I don't know, from few pages that I think we had some, I told you, we had
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
operations
Yeah.
written down. But because of that model, I was able to hire a former colleague of mine
Yeah.
from a consulting company. And because I did have, you know, thanks to all the conversations you had. And I think the other thing, I think, you know, that you, Marietta, you know, and I say objectively here, you brought it, you have the tools. You don't, it's not just talk, but
Mhm.
at the end of each session, you're sending me all these worksheets, all these,
Yeah.
you know, templates, all these, and that's not something you'd get, you know, from easily, you know, off the internet or from anywhere. Because of your expertise, you understand what I need, and
Yeah.
you were feeding me these templates, these models, these the content. It's easier for me to customize it for my own business.
Right.
So
Exactly.
thanks. Now to answer your question is, my business now has the rigor it was missing
Yeah.
in terms of its operations. So that's
Mm.
number one.
Mhm.
The business uh, has we, the time and the investment it took me
Yeah.
to wrap up the franchise for the business.
Mhm.
I saved the business. Let's say, just say we saved a lot of time. We saved a lot of money.
Yeah, that's
It-
good. Money
yes,
and time, right?
yes, time and money.
Yeah.
The other thing I think that my business benefited from, and whether it's for marketing or from connections, networking, lawyers, is again, when you work with a franchise advisor
Mhm.
like yourself, that franchise advisor, if they have years and years of experience, they have a large network of people.
Mhm.
And how many times did you and I sit on conference calls, not
Yeah.
to talk to you, but just to talk to someone
Yeah.
that you know, whether it's a
Yeah.
lawyer, whether it's an area, an expertise in geo mapping and area
Yeah.
development, whether it's marketing and branding,
Yeah.
whether it's someone in. So there's definitely that added value that my business benefited from,
Mhm.
thanks to me being in that journey, not just mapping it and knowing what it is, but from all the indirect value that is
Yeah.
added to add rigor to the operations, but
Yep.
all the other experts that I was able to talk to, and some of
Yep.
them hired, that have
Yeah.
benefited my business, not just as a franchisor, but benefited my business just as a business.
In general, right? Like,
You know,
because it isn't always about getting to, some people, honestly, some people will go through and decide that's not for them. But at the end of the day, they still, like you said, there's been a value added to their business by having kind of
absolutely.
evaluated the business in this way, right? Like, kind of had those conversations around what it would look like. So I'm curious if someone were asking you, why should I make this investment in my business and invest in a franchisor blueprint experience with Ascend? What would you say to them? Like, what would you say to them now? And do
Well,
you have any advice?
yeah,
Having to do it, yeah,
I thought I've already indirectly answered that one way or
yeah, you
another.
have,
You cannot talk about the experience without actually talking about its advantages.
yeah,
Franchise is not for everyone, but
mhm,
if you have a business that you've invested in, number one is the product. You create a great product, and your systems and operations. Maybe you have a second, third location, and people are asking you, are you a franchise? It means that there is there is something in there. So uh, the
yeah,
saving money is the biggest, one of the
mhm,
biggest,
yeah,
plus the indirect value add that I was talking about, from
yeah.
the operations manual that I was able to
The
put together
tools, yeah, the
quickly.
tools and resources, some of the templates. What I also heard you say was the network, like kind of knowing who do I talk to, who
Yes,
can help me with,
yeah. You can.
what
There's tons of lawyers out there, and you
yeah,
can start talking to a lawyer, and then maybe invest and finding, your business is
yeah,
probably licensing might be a better journey for you as opposed to
yeah,
franchising. Or you know what, maybe franchising is, you know has so many headaches. I don't know. Each
yeah,
people, each person, would look at it differently. But for
yeah,
me, I found myself in that journey, and it's okay. That's what I want to do.
yeah,
Invest. My advice to anyone aspiring is take this journey. You'll learn a lot in the process that will benefit your business. Whether you go franchising or not, you will
yeah,
benefit. Always ask, not how much it costs, but hey, see how much money and time it's gonna save you,
yeah.
if you have not, what are the costs of not doing it?
Yeah, that's actually a really great way to look at it. I love that yeah, what's the lost opportunity or the cost of lost opportunity, right?
Yes,
And so
yeah,
often we don't look at business that way, but it's so true, right? Like, and and that's very often people who are thinking about becoming a franchisor, time is of the essence. They kind of want to get out there because the sooner I can get to market, the sooner I can begin to offer my product and my services. I don't want to wait. And why would you wait? If you can get there quicker, sooner, faster with some help, why would you wait?
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
Time is of essence, especially, now with the pandemic.
yeah,
Thanks God, a lot of businesses are hurting, but restaurants are
yeah,
still an essential business.
yep,
We don't have large operations. We're
yeah,
not 100% sit down. It's fast food, and knock on wood, our operations, we haven't closed a single day. um, and for you to be able to do that, not close, keep the business, you really have to be lean and mean, and without sacrificing quality. You have to have
Mhm.
that rigor in your operations. So if
Yeah,
your
I so
operations are
agree.
not really, well tightened, dot the i's and cross the t's, it's very hard to be sustainable business
Yeah.
wise and keep that client experience really top level.
Yeah. It's being able to have a business that's actually duplicatable. Like you want to duplicate your best practices, and you've clearly been very successful in doing that. You've had a great run despite a pandemic, and I'm so proud for you. I'm so proud of you and the work that you put into this, and I see nothing but, the sky's the limit and Zesty Pita's everywhere. And it's been a real pleasure working with you, Sid. I've learned a lot about you and your business, and it's really been a pleasure getting to know you. And all the best and success.
Thank you, likewise,
Thank
Maria.
you.
I think we've become friends. I
Yeah.
think our mandate has wrapped up a while ago, but
Yeah.
we're still communicating, we're still exchanging, networks
Yeah.
and contacts and ideas, and I plan on keeping that line of communication open. It's been
Yeah.
a marvelous experience for me. I've learned a lot in the process, and wish you the best of luck with your business as well, and wish the best of luck to your partners and your clients,
Yeah.
and wish the new year 2020
Yeah.
will be a much brighter year for everybody.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Sid. I'm so glad you could join me today.
Thanks to you.
Take care.
Bye.